shit and piss, piss and shit, fart all over my tits, do. Sometimes I feel like I'm very, very intelligent. I feel like I'm, just generally a pretty smart, with it kind of guy. Pretty switched on. My head's screwed on to my part where the head joins to the rest of my body. Sometimes I think that. But then sometimes I walk outside, go into, do my daily chores or whatever it is, go to the post office, buy my groceries, whatever it might be. I press play on my music playing device, my MP3 player that I typically usually use, and then nothing's coming out, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck's... Is the battery dead? I take it out of my pocket and look at it, and no, the screen's on, so the battery's not dead. It says it's playing, and so I turn it off, turn it on again, and still there's no sound coming out, and I don't know what the fuck's happened. And then after a moment or two, I realise I haven't put the earphones in my fucking ears, like a fat stupid dummy. My earphones are just dangling, hanging out the top of my hoodie, just dangling, bouncing around off of my fat tits as I plod along stupidly towards the post office, thinking, oh, why isn't my music working? Oh no, maybe my MP3 player's finally died. I finally got to try get a new one, but they're difficult to find these days, because where the fuck do you get an MP3 player in this day and age? But no, it's just me being a stupid moron and not realising that I hadn't put the earphones in my ear holes, and so I couldn't hear any music. And oh gosh, did I feel silly. I do also, in those moments, I do the little I have a little look around myself, just see if anyone noticed. Because I must have had some fucking dumb look on my face. Like, whoa, no, what's happening? I don't understand. And then the dawning, the realisation of like, oh, it's the earphones aren't in my ears where they're supposed to be in order for me to actually be able to listen to the fucking music. It doesn't happen often, I swear. I don't have those moments often. But they do happen. Which just goes to show, in spite of how it may seem sometimes, how it no doubt comes across, in spite of this, the syntax of this sentence is not working. In spite of how it might seem, I am in fact only human, like the rest of you. That's what I was going for. That's what I was trying to say. So I'm only bloody human, much to my eternal chagrin, dismay, unimpressiveness. I do in fact remain just bloody human. Ugh. Who bloody Ray? Ray for humans, aren't we? Bunch of fucking winners. Ugh. But never mind, eh? Hooray for all of the stuff. Hooray for everything. The internet, entertainment, podcasts, art and drawing and shit. A whole bunch of all the stuff. We love that, don't we, eh? We love content. We love having shit to watch. Shit to watch when you're having your dinner, when you're eating your tea in the evening. You got to have something to watch. You got to look around YouTube for 45 minutes or more just trying to find a video that you haven't already seen a million times. So you can just have something, just for the love of God, something to watch while you eat your tea. And then you just go back and you watch a video you've already seen a bunch of times. Just because there's nothing else, there's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun, ever. In any regard, YouTube or otherwise. It's all rehashed, recycled garbage. It's all shit someone else has already done, been doing. Speaking of shit other people have already done, what are we drawing today? Scoopity woopity play. I'm drawing. It's Lobster Robbins comic characters. Did you know Lobster Robbins making a comic book? He's finally getting off his ass and actually doing something with all of that filthy, disgusting, annoying talent of his. I mean, obviously he paints and draws a lot anyway, so it's not like he's, you know, I'm just saying. I'm painting this also. I'm not just brushes and paint and filthy water. Yay! Doodle doo doo doodle doo. Squiddly beedly boop boop. Yeah, he's making a comic and it's called Blob and Duck, I think. Be a bit embarrassing. I think I've forgotten the name of his his fucking comic. It's because I don't care about him as a person. I view him as I view everyone on the internet, as producers of content for me to look at, and for me to use as my own content. So that's what I'm doing. Taking some shit that he's made, his ideas, his original ideas, his original intellectual property, I guess, if you're going to go down that route, and using it for my own means. If I can get content out of anyone else's content, then hooray for me. Hooray for bloody me. Super special, super wow, super bloody me. But I really do like his... This looks really grey, doesn't it? It's supposed to be purple, but I don't know quite why it looks fucking grey. I was hoping for more of a purple fucking vibe to it, but it's not appearing to... Oh well. Yeah, I really like his shapes. I like his lines that he uses. The quality of his lines. I like his characters. It's like this blue blobby guy and a duck friend. The blue blob's like an alien, and he makes friends with like a duck. And they have adventures through time and space. I think space has something to do with it. I don't know. And they are, and it's all. I mean, go look him up, Robbster Lobbin. He is on Robbster Lobbin. I think I just called him Robbster Lobbin. I think I absolutely didn't mean to, although it fits with my general fucking whatever, doesn't it? Fuck me. What am I doing? What are any of us doing? What are we doing? What the bloody hell are we doing? Jesus Christ. Jesus. The ever-loving Christ. A little bit of we want a purpley blue and then a bluety blue. A bluety blue. I might need to add some phthalo blue. Maybe that's why it's not working. Is that still... No, that's dry. Shit. This hasn't gone off the rails. It's just fucking nonsense. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know anything that I'm doing or saying or talking about. Lobster Robin. I guess that's what I'm talking about. I think he is on YouTube. I know he's on YouTube. So you can find his stuff there. But I guess Instagram might be the best way to get hold of him. I don't know. Probably Instagram. He's got a Patreon, and he shows pages of his comic and stuff on there. So that's definitely worth looking up. Give him your money, and make him do more of his comic. I've seen a couple of pages. I've seen some of it, and it's really fucking good. Like, it's really fucking good already. I can tell from the very little of it I've seen, his comic is going to be really fucking good. And like I say, he has an annoying amount of talent. And I know talent's not technically real. It's learned skill. It's not like God-given talent. But whatever the fuck it is that makes Lobster Robin good at drawing, he's got a lot of it, and it's really annoying. Because his comic's going to be so fucking good. And of course I have to be part of it. I'm going to inject myself into the proceedings. Oh look, I painted a picture of the characters from the comic. Look, I'm involved. I mean, I'm not actually involved in his comic in any kind of official capacity whatsoever. I don't plan to be. I'm not trying to actually get in. I'm just saying. This is fan art. That's all this is. This is just fan art of a comic that doesn't even exist yet. Of a comic that's in the making. It's in the process of existing. And I can already tell it's going to be fucking amazing. And I hate Robin for that. He draws things, the things he chooses to draw, and also the way he draws them, he does it in such a way that almost every time makes me think, fuck, I should have done that, or I should be doing that, or I should do something like that, or I should steal that idea that he's using and do it myself. So that's kind of what this is. It's obviously not, but kind of could be considered. It's like I say, this is just a bit of fan art. That's all it is. This is just for fun, just for me, just for fun. A little bit of painting in the new sketchbook. I guess by the time this is uploaded, yeah, there would be my. I've started a new series on YouTube on my channel called Sketchbook Sessions, where I try to just like I used to back in the day. I used to love just sitting and drawing in my sketchbook, but I feel like I don't get a chance to do that quite so much these days, because everything I do is commissions or whatever. It's all work based. It's all shit I have to do and never shit I want to do. So I'm trying to give myself an excuse to just fucking draw for the fun of bloody drawing. And it's also a way for me to educate you all on UK hip hop, because I decided that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have UK hip hop music playing over my drawings, which are sped up because it's like I'll just have one song play and then, you know, my drawings showing over the top of it, and that'll be that. Just, you know, maybe weekly, maybe just every now and again. Although I figured I could use those videos for like if I don't have like a painting commentary video going on or some other thing, and I can probably knock out a sketchbook session video, nice and easy. Just spend an hour or two chilling, drawing on my sketchbook, speed it up, put it to some music, and we're good to golden go. And I did have that feeling whilst I was doing that drawing. I had that feeling of like just chilling out, just like back in the day, chilling out, drawing in the sketchbook just for fun, not worrying about. I mean, it ended up being for something, but it wasn't like for, and I didn't do it with the express purpose of like, I need this for a video, I have to make it, it's got to be good. That was sort of an afterthought. Not an afterthought, but like a thought after the first thought. So like an afterthought, but you know, not really like an kind of. The good thing about this character also is so this character's the Blob, is like an alien life form, kind of like a symbiote from Marvel, but not. And so, again, very, very smartly on Mr. Robbins' part to have a character like that, where the character is just a blob who, you know, makes himself into this bipedal form. Bipedo, that's disgusting. So in terms of drawing it, he almost never has to look like consistent or whatever. He can just look like blobs the entire time, and it fits into the character, and it's all good. Which again, is just fucking genius of Robin to come up with that. Which is, I mean, he's expressed it as much that you know, he wants his comic to be stuff that he wants to draw. And like when I did Death Fist, the idea of Death Fist is cool. Like, it looks cool. He's a cool guy, cool character, and he is sort of fun to draw. Until I realise I gave him a poncho, which means like when he jumps and runs, I have to draw a poncho flaring up and flapping around. I've got to draw all this material somehow. I caused that challenge for myself, which I hadn't intended to do. And I'm sure Mr. Lobster will run into his own challenges and things in the process of making his comic. But in terms of the characters, it's this blob guy and a funny little duck character, which, again, has a sort of set shape and character model, but especially with Lobster Robbins' style, he can basically make it look like whatever he wants it to look like, and it will look like, you know, what it's supposed to look like. So good for bloody Robin for that, I guess. I don't know how many layers of paint to use. I hadn't intended to use too many layers, but I don't know if this is even good. I mean, I barely started, haven't I? So give it time, I suppose. Being that I'm doing some Lobster Robin shit, it only seems appropriate that I look at some Lobster Robin shit. But appropriate or not, I'm not going to do it. Fuck that shit. Let's look at some other shit. Heracut, the perfect merge. This is another one of those art books where, like, I don't necessarily forget I have it, but it's very much out of sight, out of mind. And then every time I happen to see it on my shelf, I'm like, fuck, I should look through that again. Because it's a good fucking book. I mean, I'd put it close to Lobster Robbins' book in terms of art books as physical objects that are just nicely made and nice to look through. And this is very much one of those. This is one of those art books I'm really glad to have. I've only ever seen it in a shop one time, which is when I got it, and I've not seen it since. So I'm really, really glad to have gotten it. Heracut is the merging of two artists, Hera and Acut. Hera and Acut, German artists, spray can street artists. And they got together and they paint shit together. She does really quite sketchy stuff, lots of people, shapes, whatever they call that shit. Figurative paintings, like loose, sketchy, figurative paintings. And he is like a super duper good, like photorealistic spray paintist. And together, they create artwork. Bunch of shit about their history and whatevs. I like this. This is like I guess like a wooden cutout. It's got like sketchy elements and then photorealistic elements painted in there. I love shots like this as well. Just like clearly very used spray cans. Just the paint leaking out the sides. And this, I know, being that I'm a very experienced spray paintist myself to some degree, I know that the can looking like this, with all the paint coming down the can, and you can see it's like really caked up on the cap and like in the rim and stuff, that's from lots of like slight spraying, where you press down just a little bit and it makes the paint sort of like sputter and spurt out of the cap a bit, and that causes lots of like build up and frothing almost, and this cakiness, and causes lots of drips down the side. Whereas if you use it, typically you'll get like paint around the cap and stuff, but the paint's coming out at a higher pressure, so it sort of sprays away from the can. Whereas if you push like gently on the cap, it goes and gets all caked up around here, which I know is something you do when you're doing this photorealistic stuff, because you just want like small amounts of paint, just little bits of pressure, just to get a little bit of, just a little dusting here and there for like a little bit of shading or extra little colour on a bit. Look at that, all of that just from that one little fucking so yeah, it's not incredibly clear on the cover, but you can see sketchy outline and figurative painting by Hera, and then quite a photorealistic eye painted in here by Acut. Other examples of their work, but it's all in the book, so it's fucking whatevs. And there's some really good examples, really loose, sketchy outlines, but then not wholly photorealistic, but like certainly somewhat realistic in terms of lighting and shading and skin tones and textures and such. It makes for some interesting pieces. And I like how they collage a lot of their stuff. I love, and again, this book, like these as end papers, just pencil fucking scribbles. All the text is hand done. Most of the text is hand done. Because they're literally writing their story about their art and how they work together and stuff. So it's all in pencil, handwritten. These hand-drawn borders and things. I really like. Good matte finish to the pages as well. I really appreciate that. It's a good size, good dimensions. Fucking, I guess like self-portraits, kind of. And this is Acut's alphabet, and that's Hera's alphabet. So they both have their own hand styles that they typically use for their pieces. So you can see when it's Hera or Heracut doing the lettering and shit, which is quite cool. Because obviously they both have their own individual styles and approaches to art as a whole, not just in terms of like painting figures and portraits and stuff, but how they approach the work, just down to how they do lettering, how they move their body to create the work that they create. I love these shots as well. Similar to the shots of like people with sketchbooks, like all hanging out, drawing in sketchbooks with music and cigarettes and stuff. Stuff like this, the stuff that goes into making the artwork as opposed to just the artwork itself. You know, like all of my podcasts and videos and shit. It's like what I do, only not as good. I really like the mixture of like silly little doodly bodies with very well realised lighting and shading on certain parts. I like just the face and the arms. Oh, spitting on it. Just the arms are all, you know, sketchy and doodly, but then the face is very realistic. Just that one little aspect. Dog face. That's fucking cool. They're like Barbie doll body. That's spray painted, but it looks super duper realistic. Because Mr. Heracut is very, very good at what he do. And it's one of those things that like if I took the time to practice, it would take, you know, a while, but I feel I could do the photorealistic spray painting stuff because you use like bits of card to mask off the areas to get like harsh lines and stuff, just so only a little bit of paint gets on the thing and in a certain direction and not on the other side. And then, you know, layers and layers of that, just tiny little bits, and you use little stencils of little circles and stuff to get little dots, and you know, use your finger with a bit of paint just to get a little swoosh. And like, I know largely the techniques and stuff that go into doing it, but like anything, I can sit here and go, oh, I could do that. If I spent time practicing at it, oh, Kanye, ugh. Oh, I guess they didn't see that coming, did they? I mean, theoretically, anyone could practice it if they were shown how to do it and whatnot, but fucking whatevs. Some really nice spreads of really varied images, and that's another thing I like about them as well. It's not just like I mean, there's some like iconography that they repeat: the human body, the female form, dogs. They paint a lot of those, and it seems to be there's a lot in their work about sort of like the lines between adulthood and childhood. So there's themes that sort of flow throughout their paintings, but you know, all the pieces are varied enough that it makes for a lot of sort of interesting images to look at in a book or fucking whatever. I mean, the fact that that's done with spray paint is pretty outstanding, really. Like, you have to admit. How does that look on camera? Yeah. It looks like it could be a photo that was cut out and stuck on, but if you look, you can see the misting and the spray of the spray paint, and like layers used and where bits have been masked to just get the little angles and such. But yeah, to do that with spray paint is... So I can sit here and say, oh, if I had enough practice, I could do... It's an insane level to get to be able to paint shit like that. And that contrasted, juxtaposed with the very sort of graphic, bold, sketchy outlines and stuff. It's a really neat... You could say it's a perfect merge. Or something. Dog. And yeah, you can see where different layers of spray paint have been used. Little masked off bits to get the little and the dots where a finger has been used. And it makes for a really cool fucking painting of a dog head. And drawings at the heart of it all. There's the drawings. Talking about their process and shit. Whatever. Words schmerds. Like I give. I like the shots. The whole... Again, this whole book, it's filled with such a good... Like a great array of images, of photos and drawings and paintings. Them at work, in action, doing their shit. That's cool to see as well. The sketch that got turned into that. With the somewhat... Again, I used the term photorealistic just because it's an easy term to use. But, you know, the at least slightly more realistic approach to the shading and highlighting of the skin on this character. And this could be almost a perfect example of how people will eternally bemoan, you know, hyper-realistic artwork. But I think this is a great example of the techniques used to create hyper-realistic artwork used in an interesting way, like a new and interesting way. That's fun to look at and probably fun to do as well. I like the mouths. They do these quite a few times as well. Like a shouting, screaming mouth in a speech bubble. And that's quite a cool... It's one of those things that's almost obvious and like a good idea. And it's one of those, like, kind of wish you'd thought of it first. And fucking whatevs. This is a cool series of pictures as well. I mean, that's a cool bunch of pictures again. Them at work doing their shit. But yeah, so they're sketching it up. Loose spray painted outlines. And just a bunch of mess and paint and dirt and stuff in the background. And then coming in with other paint, blocking out shapes, adding layers. You can see he's got the photo of the dog pasted up here as he's painting the dog's head in there. Photo of the dog painting its head. More layers, more detail. And then, I guess, the final piece. Yeah. So a good blend of, like, bold, sketched figures and a very realistically painted pug head. It's very, very neat. I like it. It's like the pug from BoJack Horseman. It reminds me of that. The pug's head on a human body. Is that one of BoJack's girlfriends, or he just sleeps with the pug, or am I thinking of someone else? There's someone in the show. I really like this. It's part of the One Big Arm Club. It's got like a muscly action figure arm on this young girl, sketchy young girl body. It's a neat composition. a really well, like, coolly painted arm with the spray paint, but then it's got, like, you know, the plastic joint of the action figure arm, the veins sculpted into it and everything. The connection where the hand meets the wrist so it can turn and whatever. Good view of it there. I love drawing action figures and doing them well like this as well, so it looks like an action figure when it's got all the joints and stuff. Something Toy Story-ish about it, but like better, obviously. One of those big mouths, speech bubbles. I love the close-up shots as well because it's a very realistically painted painting, but you can see close up like the layers and the spray paint and where certain bits have been used. And that's this is quite a good example of what I was trying to say in a previous episode about like light and colour and painting with light and colour. Because like you can say, oh, teeth, they're shiny here, so it's white, but like this bit of shine is just like that very bright cream colour of spray paint. So you don't necessarily need to think like, I need to highlight up to this colour. You just know this colour will create this shine on this tooth. So it's picking colours to match the light as opposed to recreating the light. It makes sense in my head. Shut up. But then it gets to a point where you're like, yeah, I get it. Jesus. Sketchy things and photorealistic things. That's a really cool one, though, actually. The twins sharing a body with the two heads. I like how they're painted with the fringes of their hair and stuff. The shadow over their faces. And just a little hint of like light blue just on the underside of the nose. And a little bit on the chin. Just a touch. And that's where you get the sputtering of the spray can, where you just get the littlest like to make the paint just go just a little bit. And that's where you need the very specific caps that will allow you to do that, because some caps you'll try to do that, but no matter how gently you press on the cap, it will just go psst. And if you do that, you fucked up the entire thing. So you need the tools for the job. You can't just have spray cans. You need specific. Oh, well, I guess it looks like they use Montana Gold. Is it largely he uses? It was in the pictures, which are okay, but I think there are sort of maybe. Yeah, Montana Gold is German, I believe. They're obviously good for what he does, and he uses them well. But yeah, you need a certain kind of paint, a certain kind of cap. You can't just do that with any spray paint. Or maybe you could, but it would be difficult. Or something. That's quite neat. All sketchy, and then in the glasses you've got the photorealistic eyes painted in there. It's really, really cool. And I do like these because I like when it uses the loose sketch as the basis, because this is just like a cutout of an eye placed on top of a thing almost, whereas this, it's taking the skills and techniques to do photorealistic shadowing and lighting and stuff, but applying it to the skeleton of a sketched body, and it makes for some interesting like shapes and angles and creases and things. And it's literally, that would be Heracut applying his learned knowledge and skills to a separate thing, like, because he's not using a photo for reference for this, because this is just a sketch. So he's taking what he's learned in how to do stuff like this and applying it without photo reference to create the lighting and shadow, which is very interesting to see. It's interesting to look at. That's a cool little pug. Lots of dogs. I don't know if I realised quite how many dog heads they paint in their pieces. That's pretty cool. The sketch of them playing cards and then the painting on a wall with other graffiti artists involved, which is cool to see. The skull there looks really good. I don't know if they do. No, it would be cool to see a larger photo of this skull because it looks really well painted, really detailed. I'd quite like to see that at a bigger scale, but it was not to be, apparently. Oh well, oh well, oh well. I also, it's a division of labour. They both have their own parts to play in the pieces, but I quite like the fact that, like, you've got Heracut spending however long it takes to do these super realistic eyes, you know, based on a photo, and colour matching, light and shadow, rendering, and all this stuff. And then Hera just comes in and goes, yeah, pink bunny suit outline, cool, whatever. Just super quick, done in seconds. There you go, I've done my part, now you finish the fucking eyes. I'm sure that's exactly how it goes. Just like that. Scribble, 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 there. I've done my part, now you take hours and hours to paint a fucking photorealistic dog face. Numbnuts. Oh, that is cool. That as a starting with. I mean, that almost works as a painting in itself. Like, if you just left that as it is. Like, there is something cool about an unfinished piece being considered a finished piece. There's been many, many paintings I've done where I've wanted to leave it like half done because it looks cool. But, like, for instance, it might be, you know, a commission and they're probably expecting a finished painting. But something like that looks really cool. But then, was there... No. You see how it ends up and it's like, oh shit. That's really, really cool. You lose a little bit of the rendering and stuff and the shadow of the hat there, but the gold and everything, it's a really nice piece. And I like the sort of collage backgrounds they do, wallpaper and spray paint and drips and mess and dirt and stuff like that. It's texture and it's life, and I like it. That's cool. A cardboard, like corrugated cardboard cutout with the photorealistic face, realistic Barbie body. Yada yada yada, yeah, we get it, it's all very good. Something I've come to realise I dislike is video games that have like a good bad thing. For instance, I'm currently I'm currently in the midst of a Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough, another one, replaying it because it's fucking fantastic. And the problem I have, because this is an issue in Red Dead Redemption 2, is when games have like you can play a bad character because it's got honor. You can have high honor or you can have low honor. And I've tried to play like bad characters, you know, evil, nasty characters, non-helpful, non-law abiding characters. And sometimes, like in GTA 3, which is the only, well, that and San Andreas is really the only GTA I've spent any sort of serious amount of time on. You know, being bad is sort of it's kind of the fun of it all, because you're just running around with a rocket launcher blowing shit up, and it feels cartoony or whatever. But with something like Red Dead Redemption, where the game is within itself realistic. It builds a realistic world and paints a realistic image of like the life and times and whatever. But more often than not, like most of the time, if you choose to take like the bad option, and it seems to be the case in a lot of games, it's just a dick option. Like, it just makes you a dick. Like, to actively not help someone when you're absolutely in a position to help them, or to steal from people who don't deserve to be to have their shit stolen. Because there's, in a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, there's plenty of people who deserve to have their shit stolen. But that's when it's like, if you do bad things to bad people, you get good honour. So you're stealing, but it's or killing, depending on the situation. But it's okay because they're a bad person, which sort of makes sense. But you're still stealing and killing. But then if you steal and kill from or kill the wrong people, then you get bad honour. And like, I can never bring myself to be really bad in these games, because I just feel like a dick. Just an absolute cock. Like, why would you... Like, even if I wanted to be bad, I tried in various games. I tried to do an evil playthrough in Fallout 4. I actually went a bit too far in that one, where I had a mod that allows anyone to be killed. Any NPC can be shot and killed, even if they're like, whatever the word is, necessary for the plot or whatever. You can still kill them. It also... so I was going around, just going to towns and settlements, killing everybody, taking everything, just being the most villainous fucker I could be. But then I was in Diamond City, again in Fallout 4. There's a school in Diamond City. I only found this out during this playthrough. There's a school, and all the kids of Diamond City go there. There's like a bunch of kids in the school learning. And so I went in, and I found out that the mod that allows all NPCs to be killed also allows for children to be killed. And I realised I was doing a school shooting. And I know it's a video game, I know it's fake, but it felt a bit much. It genuinely felt like this is too much. I'm doing a bad playthrough. I'm a bad guy and I'm stealing all the shit. But then to go into a post-apocalyptic school and murder all the children felt a bit much. And maybe that's me getting soft in my old age. Maybe in, time gone by, in years past, I'd have happily blitzed the fuck out of those fucking kids in their stupid school, learning about whatever the fuck, irradiated potatoes or whatever it is they learn about. But in this instance, I couldn't. I shot like 3 or 4 kids, and I was like, I felt icky. I felt like, this isn't. I'm just blowing them to pieces, because I had a gun with explosive ammo, like a submachine gun with exploding bullets. So it fires a lot of bullets, and every time a bullet hits, it just goes. Poof. And so I was blowing these kids apart, and I felt horrible about it. And that's usually the case, is like if you're, I mean, not that Fallout 4 example is an extreme example, but it's just something that's been on my mind. If like I like the idea of role playing like a villain, like a bad character, but whenever there's a piece of media with a character like that, you sort of should, I guess, you naturally root against them because they're a dick and you want them to get their like if you've played Red Dead 2, you know Dutch and Micah, absolute sweltering great bollocks and pieces of shit, and they deserve to have their heads caved in repeatedly and have the game loaded up again and then have them be killed again and again and again because they're just such absolute fucking cocks. But that's because they're well written, like villain characters. So if you're going to be a bad person in one of these games, that's the sort of level you've got to reach if you're going to actually be bad. But then if you are that bad, you're just a fucking knob. And who wants to be that? I don't want to be such a fucking... Like there's a line surely of like of differentiation between I'm sneaking around stealing everything and no one has any idea, and just being a fucking wanker. I don't know if I have like clear parameters in mind of what does and doesn't constitute being a dick in terms of a bad playthrough, but from what I've seen, most, and I think I read somewhere a while ago that like most video games and most video gamers, the bad option gets chosen so seldom compared to the good option, because who wants to be just a fucking arsehole? No one wants to actively, purposefully be a fucking arsehole. And chances are, if there is someone that likes playing games in that way, that likes being a fucking arsehole in these kinds of games, that person is probably a bit of a fucking arsehole. Let's be honest. If that's the shit they enjoy, they've probably got some like, yeah, I'll show everyone. I'll show them all. They'll see. They'll be sorry. Like maybe they were bullied or something, and that's rough. It sucks. And so they're taking it out on the video game world and just being a dick to everyone. And I sort of, I want to, sort of say what they should do is this, like come up with a solution for it. But I don't think there is one. Like if you're going to do a bad playthrough, I guess you just have to go with it and you have to just be the bad guy. But especially someone like Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2. I was speaking about this to someone else the other day, how the first time you play Red Dead Redemption 2, this is my experience anyway, you first sit down to play it and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this random cunt that I'm being forced to play as? Who is this fucking nobody? This fucking schmuck Arthur Morgan with stupid name, stupid bland appearance, fucking NPC tier character. Who the fuck is... Where's John Marston? I want to play... Red Dead Redemption was great because John Marston's a fucking badass. And he's great. He's fun. He's funny. He's snarky. He's a good guy. You want to be John Marston. So when you get Red Dead Redemption 2, of course you want to be John Marston. And, you do get to play as him later on. But the bulk of the game, 99% of the game-ish, you're Arthur fucking Morgan. Who the fuck wants to be Arthur Morgan? Who the fuck is this guy? But then you end up falling in love with him because he's fucking great. And then spoilers, this is genuine spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2 if you care. He dies at the end. They take him away from you. He builds him up. The game builds him up as this wonderful person, this amazing character, this deep, rich, well-written, well-rounded human character that you're playing as, that you learn to love and care about. And then they take him away from you. They kill him off at the end of the game. Absolute bastards. But that's the thing is, he is such a brilliantly written, well-rounded individual. And he has, like, internal struggles, and he doesn't consider himself to be a good person. But you don't even have to do a lot for everyone around you to be like, no, actually, Arthur, you're an incredibly good person. You're more helpful than anyone else around here. And you realise, like, yeah, he is. He's a good person. He's caught up in this outlaw life. But especially towards the end, being, gradually betrayed by the people he was closest to, realising what matters. Yeah, he lost family. He sees people around him have a chance at having a family. And he has the opportunity to try and help those people get the family they deserve. And by doing so, he becomes one of the goodest people ever in the world before he fucking dies of fucking tuberculosis. Jesus. And so if you're playing the game and there's all of these, moments of struggle, of internal conflict, of doing the right thing or the wrong thing, the game, I think they've even said the official real ending is the high honour ending, which means you're supposed to be a good person as Arthur Morgan. So if you're playing it choosing all the bad options, being a bad person, then you're just being a dick. It's so just fucking... and it feels bad as you're playing, because you care about this character. If you do something wrong, it feels bad, and who wants to do that shit? I don't know. I'm still don't need the paint. I don't know why I was moving to get rid of that. Oh, let's do the thing. Look at that. Look at the clean lines. Also, yeah, I painted most of this off camera. I don't know why. I started, I carried on painting after oh no, it's bollocksed. God damn it. After I stopped talking, I carried on painting for a while and then realised I was just sat here painting and not talking, so I just stopped the recording and figured, whatever. Schmomvemva. I think maybe it needs... I don't know if I can be fucked to do it. But it needs a bit of lighter light purple. Right. It's here. I've got music from Red Dead Redemption 2 in my mind. Oh, it's a really good fucking game though, isn't it? I mean... and that's about all I've got to say on that, really. I mean, I think I even spent longer talking about it than I really had planned to. Other things I have to talk about. I was thinking the other day how, because somebody is going through watching all my old podcasts, which I think I did mention, which is great. But then every now and again they'll leave a comment on one of the old podcasts that they're watching, and I'll see that in a notification, and I'll be like, oh, cool, let me take a look at what they were watching, because they might have said, haha, another amazing episode, Ewan, you're the best, I wish I was you, or something to that effect. And so I'll go back and watch parts of the old episode just to see what the fuck it is they're talking about, because I've done quite a few episodes, so I don't remember each and every one of them, which I believe is fair. And so, yeah, in watching parts of old episodes, I think I realise and this is interesting to me and maybe not anyone else, but when I was recording older episodes, and I don't know if I can put a sort of a point on where the change occurred, but recording old episodes, I definitely felt, and I kind of get that impression watching some of them back, I felt like I was talking to myself, like I was sitting at my desk talking to myself, doing my thing, and then if people see it, cool, and if they don't, then fine, whatever. But, and I guess it makes sense because, you know, I have, my audience has grown since doing older episodes, obviously. And now, when like right now, as I'm sitting recording this and talking, I feel like I'm talking to some people. Not like a huge audience, but at least I think, at the very least, I know there are at least a handful of people that seem to watch regularly. Like every episode, when I upload it, they watch it. And there's at least some people I can sort of know will be watching. And I think I sort of have those people in mind, kind of. The ones of them that I sort of at least somewhat know. So, in a way, I feel like I am talking to those people as I record my podcast, rather than just sitting here talking to myself. I'm aware that I am, you know, literally, physically sitting here talking to myself, but I feel like, you know, the community is there and I am reaching them. I'm giving them a reach around, a happy ending, and we're all best friends and secret lovers and all kinds of other fun things. I don't know if that's apparent as an outsider, as a viewer. If you watch the old podcast, if it feels different in that respect, I think a lot of things feel different. I know I've changed as a person in various ways. It's funny, there are certain things people sort of certain words people urged me not to say in earlier episodes, where they were like, maybe you shouldn't say those kinds of words, Ewan. And I was like, it's all good, it's fucking whatever, you know, I don't give a shit. It's all fun and games. But then now, today, I'm like, yeah, no, I probably shouldn't say certain words like that. And there's various reasons why I choose not to say certain words, but, you know, I think that's it. Maybe it also can tie into what I was saying before. I don't want to be a dick. I can be, like, edgy and bad and say words that you shouldn't really probably say. But that might just make me a dick. It might not be funny. It might just make me a bit of a fucking knobhole. And maybe I should just shut up. Oh, the life we lead, eh? Look, the duck's doing like a Naruto run. Naruto? I don't know how to fucking pronounce weird anime shit. Pretty cool though. I quite like this. I think if anything, what I'm going to want to do is add in more purpley bits to like blend it in with the background air so slightly. Like I could just do this and then like sort of somewhere. It's not ideal really, but kind of works. Just because, well, yeah, like I say all the time, it's you don't want it all to stand out too much. It's good for it to blend in with the background at least a little bit. I'm going to put a bit of like underglow. Well, just like this. There you go. Done. Underglow sorted. Taken care of. Fiddle-dee-dee. And also I'll probably finish this before I upload the episode. I'll finish this piece. And like I say, I'm happy with how it's looking already. I like the shapes. Again, a lot of that is down to Mr. Lobster. They are his shapes in essence. I'm just translating them in my own way. But yeah, I like the shapes and the colours and shit. I mean, it's a pretty cool little piece. I'll send a picture of this to Lobster Robin and he'll be like, don't ever let me see you ruining my characters again. You're good at drawing and painting, Ewan, but leave my shit alone. Stick to gun Viking and shit, your own fucking comic characters. Stop fucking sponging off of mine for your own content, you fucking knobber.